Hello everyone, I'm Roberto Coscia. I'm a QA engineer with 6+ years of experience in the IT industry. In today's video, we're gonna discuss about the new release that has been implemented today in ChatGPT, which is the introduction of the deep research. The deep research function is basically an agent that uses reasoning to synthesize large amount of online information to complete multi-step research tasks for you. This is available for the pro user today and soon will be released to the Plus and Team users. An important highlight about this new functionality is that it can now do work for you independently, and it can do it at the level of a research analyst. It is optimized for the web browsing and the data analysis. This is a feature that basically is part of what OpenAI is trying to achieve on building on the broader goal to develop the AGI. Another thing that is very important is that it really excel in finance, science, policy, and engineering areas. And also, it can perform tasks that users might find really tedious, like shopping, in researching best product and hyper-personalized recommendation on purchases. Just because this feature, it searches the web very well, and when the research is done over a longer period of time, and it research different websites, it give you the best result out of the one that are out there based on your prompt. It is also important to note that the output is fully documented with clear citation and a summary of its thinking. So, as a research does, you will have a summary and a citation of all the fonts that have been taken. This is done only with a query, a prompt that you provide to ChatGPT. The way you can use this feature is to click to the deep search option that will appear to you. Then the ChatGPT will make the research, which will take around between 5 to 30 minutes to give you the result. Another important highlight here is that in the next few weeks, OpenAI will also be adding embedded images, data visualization, and other analytics output in the reports for adding clarity and context. This is fantastic because if the data analytics can make those report responses more beautiful and appealing, really as research might be doing. It also specify when to use this function, when is useful rather than not. Basically, it advised to use ChatGPT for all for real-time responses, and multimodal conversations. Instead, to use the deep research for more time-consuming activities and which require a lot of thinking and that are specific. Sorry, I mean that are more generic. So where a lot of thinking is required, the prompts are more generic. You can use deep research to really make the best out of it. While the opposite, if you need more specific, when you create prompts where you provide the more specific context, then and that you need a more multimodal approach to resolve the problem, then you can use ChatGPT 4o. Here we have an example in which both ChatGPT 4o and Deep Research have been used with the same prompt. And for example, here we have a prompt. Help me find iOS and Android adoption rates percentage who want to learn another language and change in mobile penetration over the past 10 years for top 10 developed and top 10 developing countries by GDP. Lay this info out in a table and separate stats in columns and include recommendation on markets to target for a new iOS translation app from ChatGPT. Focusing on markets, ChatGPT is currently active in. So as you can see here, it gives a response which is correct, but more like listing the countries with no a detailed explanation. of each country, GDP, and reasoning about why they would be the top 10 developed countries, and some insight, general insight after. Here instead you can see that has created a table and it's explaining in depth the basically what are the 10 top developed economies with some data, and so it gives more insight about it immediately in the response. And same for the second part of the prompt response, which is more specific. It also, as you can see, it show you the sources and the recommendation and the summary. Here it provides also some recommendation. Basically, you can see that the deep research gave immediately a most accurate table which summarize all the response of the prompt. But this task, basically this was better task for the deep research. So in this example, you could see that this was a multifaceted type of conversation where deep research excel. For a more immediate real-time multimodal conversation, you would use ChatGPT 4o. Here there are different example of problems that have been resolved and example between ChatGPT 4o and deep research. You can have a look yourself to the blog article that has been created by OpenAI to have more information about this. An important benchmark that has been released and shown by OpenAI is the Humanity Last exam. Basically, is a released evaluation that tests AI across a broad range of subjects on expert level questions. And you could see that deep research is actually performing best than any other model, 26.6%. Another benchmark, which is called Gaia, in which it is evaluated the AI on real world question. Also, deep research excel at 72.57% on average, and on different level of difficulties, it excelled a lot. 78% on level 1, 73 level 2, and 58 on level 3. Here you can see and for yourself some example of increasingly complex questions and their related responses by the deep research model. In this example, instead, this graph it shows how some researchers have noticed that increasing the time of the research, the pass rate, so the fact that this model was giving more coherent result was increasing. This is another benchmark in which shows the pass rate on expert level task by estimated economic value. You can see that this value decreased the more difficult it become the expert level tasks. Here you can see the pass rate on expert level task by estimated hours. And also here you can see how in the models, the more time it passed, the lower is the pass rate. It is important to tell that this model, even though it's fantastic and remarkable, it is not. It doesn't have. It has the risk of hallucination. In perspective of future releases, it is important to note that they are aiming to roll out this model also mobile and desktop apps within this month. Here you can see an example while an employee of OpenAI is prompting the model just to understand and have a taste of how it works and how it performs. Let's have a look to it.
Actually maybe just buy some skis and take a little bit of a ski vacation at the end of this. So I want to buy some skis for skiing in Japan. And one thing I like to do also.
You can see first of all that they clicked on the deep research, and in this case is using ChatGPT 4o. I wonder if they will use in future Audio 3 Mini for performing this action. Would be very interesting to know.
Is specify how Deep Research can format the output. So format this as a report.
The final model is able
Long skis. And just like in the
to images.
Here we can see the response that he got.
This is the kind of thing that I would probably like have to spend all afternoon just for my own sanity to make a good purchase, to read every single thing that's written about it. But this does a pretty good job of actually just hitting all the sites that I would hit and consolidating this all in a format that's a lot easier to digest than doing my own searches. And it also provides a table at the bottom here that just gives kind of like the high level comparison across the specific things that I mentioned that I wanted for this purchase. I find that deep research works really well if you're like very, very specific about the type of answer that you're looking for, both in terms of what information that you want, what comparisons you want to see, and anything about the format that you want the final output in, because the model is able to take all of those things into consideration and think about them all as it does its searches and puts together its final report.
So yes, very good advice to know. By the way, this model is accessible to pro user for today, and then eventually we will get it to the plus version. What do you think about this model? I'm very excited. I'm really impressed about what's going on with the AI industry. Did you find this release interesting? And please consider to subscribe the channel in case you wish to know more content and have more news about the new AI releases. Feel free to like the video, comment the video, let me know your opinion about it, and see you in the next video.